Welcome to another episode of SandCity Sports. Let's check it out. Let's see where we are. All right. Facebook is a little bit behind. Let's see what the heck is going on. Man. Facebook is lagging. Hopefully, it can get right. See if we can get one. See if it'll. I don't know what the heck is going on. Refresh this or something. There we go. There we go. All right, that's a beautiful thing. Okay. The IG is where it needs to be. All right. Let's check the Twitter space. Twitter is where it needs to be. Okay, come on over. Let's see what's going on with YouTube. Let's check the YouTube. Yes. Nevertheless, team is blessed. Yes, indeed. And the Twitch, all right, no, is where it needs to be. So as I like to say, welcome to SandCity Sports, folks. We to the business. A lot to get to you on this Friday. Thank goodness it is Friday. We're coming at you later on the East Coast, not so late on the West Coast. It is what it is. Busy day, productive day. So much to get to across the board. Super Bowl is on the horizon. NFL made their Hall of Fame selections. A lot I need to talk to you about on that. Wasn't able to get with you yesterday. We will be going over the trade deadline, winners, losers, and how that situation is evolving. You're hearing the reports out of Dallas. Okay, so we got a lot to get to in terms of the trade deadline. Want to touch on a little bit of college basketball. We're going to be here as long as we need to be here. Anybody welcome, like, comment, subscribe. You know what I mean? You know what time it is, folks. You know what level I'm on. You know what team I'm supporting. Okay. Knicks didn't make a move. I'm not mad at that at all. But a lot of moves being made, balance of power possibly being affected. You see the Lakers already building up what they're doing with their roster and bringing in pieces that fit the current composition. Quite a bit to get to on that. And so it's just a beautiful thing. I hope everybody's out there doing well. It's Friday, it's the end of a work week. Busy times all around. I'm in a little bit of a busy season, to a certain extent. But as I say, I got get to jobs. I don't have got tos. I got get tos. I got all get tos. So that's something to kind of take with a grain of salt. It is busy, but everything that I do, that I'm associated with, I'm really fortunate. From the bottom of my heart to have in my life, whether it be I work in education, I teach at the middle school level, I referee. It's basketball season, so I had a game tonight out in the Outer Cape area. Good matchup, out there, in what I like to call sometimes the hinterlands, but a really good matchup of Cape and South Coast teams. Actually, game went into overtime thriller, which was good to be a part of. You know, Game decided by 2 points. So that's awesome, and we'll be doing some more refereeing this weekend, which looking forward to it. But again, you have to make time because there's a lot of things that are going on, and then just the community work that I do. I love it, and it's a privilege, so on and forth. But at the same time, what did I get from my man Marcellus Wiley? What I get from him, he said his separation is in the preparation. Marcellus Wiley, the pride of Compton, in California, of course. But he went from Compton, he went to Columbia, from Compton to Columbia, and has worked in sports media and is still going strong. One of the things when he was on Speak for Yourself, he said the separation is in the preparation, right? So I have to be on my P's and Q's in order to be able to make all these things work, and that's the challenge. But at the same time, when things do get a little touch and go again, coming at you, a little bit, past 11. Hey, this is when the time, makes itself available. So it's a beautiful thing. You know what I mean? You want to, always be prepared and have your ducks in a row so that you can, hey, maybe we go a little bit earlier. Hey, if it's late night, that's when we getting down. But it's a beautiful thing. So hope everybody had a good week. Is going into a good weekend space, whether you're, hey, I'm doing reffing, and obviously the Super Bowl is coming up. Super Bowls are a time, people get together and gather. You know what side of the line I'm on. As much respect as I have for my homeboy, as much respect as I have for Andy Reid, all right, and Kels, and the Swifties, and what they've built up in the Chiefs' kingdom. You know what all right, we rocking the Knicks gear. That's no disrespect to the Celtics. The Cape Cod kid, no disrespect to the Celtics, but, my coach, Tom Thibodeau. Never mind my roots. My coach, Tom Thibodeau, that's my man. And the Knicks did the right thing in bringing him back, and they've been experiencing prosperity since they did that. A lot of people don't put respect on Tibbs' name. I might have to get into that this episode. I don't take, you're going to put respect on Tibbs' name. As far as SandCity Sports is concerned, you're going to respect Tibbs, okay, and people that might not know. But hey, beautiful thing. See, I'm like, forget how my Knicks. I had to stand up and represent my Knicks. Forget what the connecting point was on that. Gotta, you know what I mean? Get everything lined up. But excited to be with you. You know what I mean? And just looking forward to another good episode. And like, comment, subscribe, good, bad, or indifferent. I want to hear about it. If you're so inclined, always looking to improve, always looking to get better. We start with the separations in the preparation, and then I would just encourage anybody. If you have something that's positive and uplifting that you want to do, go out there and get it. This is my passion project. And I just if anybody's in the media space or whatever you are interested in doing, you have to go get it. You know what I mean? You got to go out there and get it. I didn't see Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith, but you've seen those clips, right? When he's talking to his son, he says his son, maybe we'll get that, up. I'm learning how to share the screen and everything like that. You know what I mean? Tells his son he's not going to be in the NBA, you know what I mean? Which is not the way, like I'm learning that as I get a little bit older and how I relate to the young people. I find sometimes things get lost in translation. You know what I mean? And you want to impart this and impart that and impart the third. But then honestly, what's beautiful about education is, you got to look in the mirror. You got to look in the mirror, my boy. You know what I mean? You got to look in the mirror in terms of your practice and where you were in those days. And it's very nostalgic and it's very humbling, frankly. And, but you have to keep that, high standard and just do your best to teach the subject matter and the curriculum, but also kind of meet people where they're at and just to provide the supports that you can to help and put people in a position to be successful. Okay, so that being said, happy Friday, folks. Let's get right into it. I can't tell you how overjoyed I am, and I'm tipping my hat to the NFL. In terms of the Hall of Fame class, and what touched my heart literally. And we don't play a hate, we congratulate. So I done already told you, Shannon Sharp and what he does on multiple platforms, is, something I respect greatly, and Shannon was on Undisputed. We know this. That was awesome for a number of years. He and Skip went in different directions. It is what it is. That doesn't take away from what that show did, in my view. Really enjoyed it, appreciated it, so on and forth. Now Shannon's on the other coast with Stephen A. Smith doing First Take. But he also has his platforms. He has Club Shay Shay, which has an awesome, intro is the banger with Nipsey Hussle. You know what I'm saying? They're grinding all my life. Check out Club Shay Shay if you haven't already. And like that, that came from a character that he created on Undisputed. Uncle Shannon. And then he also has Nightcap, which he does with Ocho Cinco during these late night hours. And Nightcap has been very, very successful in its inception. And is just on the move. But in conjunction with what let me I'm just thrilled with with Sterling getting into the Hall of Fame. And Shannon had Sterling obviously on the there everything is the Super Bowl right now. The sports world is down in New Orleans at the Super Bowl. So just checking that out. And it just comes to the point. The reason I am an overjoyed is not an understatement, is based on the fact that we did not, and let's get this for you on the screen, folks. We gotta show the visuals. We gotta show the visuals. But the bottom line is we never got to see Sterling Sharp on the mountaintop of his career. His career was cut short, excuse me, folks. Because of injury, and this is long before the idea of CTE came and took over. But and I'm dating myself right now. I'm dating myself. No, I don't want it. Thank you so much. Let's go ahead and share that so people can see what's going on. But and because I cut the last episode short. Not gonna do that. Just getting more comfortable with sharing the screen and having this. What the heck? No, I don't. No ad. How does this happen to? You kidding me? And now it's showing me something. Now I got to go back. I don't want to stop sharing. Can you just leave? I wanted that image. Okay, so it's holding, right? Sterling Sharp, 6-7 year NFL career, but he was that dude. And I'm going to have to go back and get a different image. Okay. This is pretty, but I just want to try to provide, some people will know, and I was too young to appreciate Sterling. I just kind of took him for granted. When you have these, right? People are showing love. There you go. We can X that out. Thank you. But folks, what the heck is Kanye still doing on my screen? We're going to have to stop Kanye and doing what he did at the awards. Issue with the production, but we back. Okay, we're not talking Kanye. We're talking about Sterling here. What's going on? No, thank you. We're talking about, I'm glad I checked that because you couldn't see what needed to be seen. All right. But folks, the situation with Sterling Sharp, and let's just cut to the chase. It's a two-sided coin. Every coin is two-sided. Double-edged sword in terms of Sterling Sharp getting into the Hall of Fame. All right. And I have to unpack my perspective because a lot of my feelings, and this happens when it comes to the Hall of Fame, are coming from nostalgia and are coming from a sense of, I feel like I know Sterling Sharp just because of how much I respect and follow Shannon Sharp on all these different platforms over the last couple of years, and how he's built himself up, his story, their story, very much a pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Okay, growing up in the rural South, rural Georgia, and they do an outstanding job of weaving, their manifest destiny, rise from very, very meager and humble beginnings, to distinguished careers, successful careers, affluence, prominence, But anytime and Sterling is the introvert, Shannon is much more the extrovert. And as you know, I encourage you, just if it's on your, if you're interested in these things, um, I'm always like to learn about people and biographies, so on and forth. But the point is, you know, when they were growing up, Sterling was very much the older brother. Okay, he was just out of this world in terms of his football prowess. Drafted ahead of Tim Brown, who was a great wide receiver. I'm gonna have to get just pull up some of the things about him. But again, we did not get a chance to see Sterling just at the mountaintop, for an extended time because, again, the career was cut short. He retired because of multiple concussions, and the doctors essentially sitting him down. And this is, 20 plus years before CTE, at least, talking early mid 90s. The thinking, and this kind of dovetails. I want to tie this into the further conversation that we're going to have. We're going to talk about NFL Super, and we don't know already. Again, this episode is going to go however long it's got to go, folks. Okay, we're going to talk about the Hall of Famers, and people got in and people didn't get in. So yes, we will be speaking on Eli and my thoughts there. Then we're going to connect that to the current greatness that we are having and getting a chance to see with Patrick Mahomes and where he kind of stacks up. And there's some important correlations to be made there between the Patrick Mahomes of the world, the current stars, and the stars of yesteryear, the Joe Montanas, the John Elways, the Dan Marinos. We will be connecting those dots. Okay, but back to Sterling Sharp specifically. The bottom line is there was greatness, but it was, as they say, it was, uh, you know, it didn't get a chance to fully, you know, evolve, to have a long career. So that's the other side of this with Sterling Sharp getting into the Hall of Fame. He does not have uh, a quantity of stats. Numerous Pro Bowls and receiving because he played 6 years. I'm gonna pull it up, on the screen, and so we saw greatness, we saw dominance, and then it was gone. Almost as soon as it appeared. So when we're talking about the Hall of Fame, folks, what that necessitates in terms of the conversation is, how do you have someone in the Hall of Fame whose statistics pale in comparison to those who are not in the Hall of Fame? Okay, how do you have someone in the Hall of Fame who that's the question. So he's a 5-time Pro Bowler. Okay, and he led the NFL in receptions 3 years. Again, 89, 92, 93. Hold on. 2-time NFL touchdown receivers. Hold on, folks. Again, just to get a glimpse. So he leads the NFL in receiving touchdowns in 1994. If I'm not mistaken, and I'm glad to see his Wikipedia has been updated. If I'm not mistaken, he retired in 94. Okay, 88, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Played 7 seasons. 112 games. But I hope that is helpful in terms of what I've been saying and how I'm breaking this, this down. In terms of Sterling Sharp. Okay, and why it's fascinating and important in a number of different capacities. He leads the NFL in receiving touchdowns, which he had done a number of times. But in 1994, leads the NFL in receiving touchdowns and retires in his 7th season in 1994. So 1994, not your boy, not great at math, but 2004, 20. So it's, again, about 2 decades before we start even understanding the long-term impacts of playing in the NFL. 2 decades before CTE, okay, and just the whole further, and and all these, which I think are pretty cool, the helmet caps that they have now, so you have you have your helmet, and you have a cap on top of your helmet to provide additional cushioning, so on and forth. Again, 1990s, and that's not even the peak and the pinnacle of the physicality, i.e. brutality. Not talking about physicality, we're talking about brutality, okay, that we see in the NFL. I feel a need to just to throw some Dick Butkus highlights on this, okay? I go to, I'm trying to do, Dick Butkus, RIP. You know what I mean? Just to give you, those are always, monster of the midway. Silence is not okay. Where is the guy going with this? But I feel we have to make this point. We got to make this point, and then we're gonna come back to. But we got to get a little bit of Dick Butkus in here. It's just a must. It's just a must. We're gonna stop over here, and then we're gonna show these Dick Butkus highlights. Now, what does Dick Butkus have to do? Okay, please, anybody, let me know how you feel about this. But what does Dick Butkus have to do with Sterling Sharp? And no volume. But we have to understand. We have to get the fullness of this, and then I'm gonna talk it out. Okay, what does Dick Butkus have to do with Sterling Sharp? Okay, folks, and we're gonna make the connection to the modern NFL. Like when Sterling Sharp was playing, and we just established it that this is 20 years before we even consider CTE. The NFL was a gladiatorial sport. Now it's not a blood sport, and you know what I mean. We're not going to compare it, 1-to-1 in terms of the Colosseum in ancient Rome. We're not going to do that because, fortunately, we've and they have helmets on, and pads, and there's all, you know what I mean. But when you want, hitting. Speaking of Sterling Sharp, Shannon Sharp tells the story, about when he knows it's time to retire. People say, why are you tired? You're in the NFL and people love you. Shannon Sharp. Okay, so what does it feel like to play an NFL football game? A great, he shares out. What is it like to play an NFL football game? He says, okay, you want to play and you want to get out there and let your aggression out and all the rest of that stuff and go get them and all this type of stuff. Okay, this is what you do for the casuals like myself. Go ahead, put on a helmet, put your, shoulder pads on, put your sweats on, put your sneakers on, go out, you have a nice house, so on and forth. Go outside in your house, go to the end of your driveway. Okay? Turn around. Now you're facing your house. Run full steam ahead at your garage, okay? And truck stick the garage. You know what I mean? Run headlong into your garage and just, now again, insurance is gonna, we know how insurance, but assuming insurance would pick that up for you and pay the bill. Okay, so do that once, and hopefully the garage is still there. But this is theoretical. Then go back down to the end of your driveway again, run headlong and slam into your garage door a second time. Okay, and then do it 58 more times. That's the equivalent of one NFL football game. I see I got high CPUs detected. But the reason I got high CPUs detected, folks, I got to apologize. Your boy's got to apologize. Take in some of this Dick Butkus greatness. I didn't plug my computer into power. My computer's got limited power. So we're going to get that straight. Your boy, what's going on with this production? We got to get power. We got to get powered up. We're going to get powered up. Okay, we back now. We got full power. I apologize. Okay? Okay, you get the point, folks. We're going to stop sharing that. You understand what I'm trying to say? Let's come back to the basics. Let's come back to the, I mean, And we done already been 25 minutes on the SandCity Sports check-in. We done, but I'm and we're talking about the NFL Hall of Fame. Okay. And this, you know, you know, I almost feel emotional about it because it's my childhood. I grew up with Sterling Sharp. Remember him not being, I'm a basketball, coming from the basketball side of things. So wasn't really, and I wasn't the biggest kid anyway to be playing football. So fortunately, I didn't go out there and do too much. But it was a good experience. But, as I've gotten older and learned more, that like there's just with Sterling, he's not the most, he doesn't live in the media. You don't see him on social media or even doing the traditional media as, very much, you know, as much as Shannon has risen to the highest ranks, of that field and that world, Sterling and he's a, played with Brett Favre and all that stuff. And Sterling, in my opinion, is highly respected in the football community. Like the Hall of Famers and people that played in that era, or people, even younger guys that are coming up in, Jamar Chases of the world and like the great the current wide receivers would know him and study him and respect him. But he's very much, I feel, under the radar in terms of he's not, we don't, you remember Jerry West, and excuse me, Jerry, I keep saying Jerry Rice. All right. And Sterling was in, the Michael Irvins of the world. It goes without saying. And that is the level and the trajectory that this man was on for 7 NFL seasons. Okay. And then it was just over in the blink of an eye. Okay. I'm happy. I'm thrilled that Sterling Sharp is in the Hall of Fame. At the same time, it's dishonest to sidestep the reality of a 7-year career. Okay. And the two things are not mutually exclusive. Or how do I put this? They're connected, but they don't have to be antagonistic. Right? Meaning this critique of saying, okay, 7 years. That's a short career. Now, granted, Jim Brown played 9 years. Jim Brown didn't even play 10 years. But after 9 years, he's the NFL's all-time leader in rushing. That record stood for, and then that's 2 more seasons to accumulate stats. At a time and in an era where you didn't have NFL players out there for 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 years. Why? We just watched the Dick Butkus highlights. We just watched those. Because folks was out there just getting after it. Okay? And, quarterback, wide receiver, running back, people get hurt. It is what it is. Next man up. There's not this grandiose scheme or plans, protocols, strategies to capitalize on the marketing dollars and keep these players healthy and, analytic, and did none of that. It's a gladiator-like sport. That's the heart and soul of it. That's what we honor and revere more than anything. If people get hurt, they get hurt, so be it. But the toughness is the number one thing that is driving this sport and this game. Okay, and so the wear and tear on players is exponentially higher than in the, some people would say, pillowcase, flag football NFL that we have today. Okay, now the quick point that I have to make, and we will talk about the game itself and Patrick Mahomes, so on and forth, but that's why I also feel NFL wise, okay, So you're getting Shannon. We're talking Shannon. We're going to stop the shit. That's why I feel NFL-wise, as great as Mahomes is, people do not put enough respect on John Elway, Joe Montana, Dan Marino. You can throw Jim Kelly in there as well. And Patrick Mahomes, he's got 3 Super Bowls, so on and forth. And, okay, granted, he has these Super Bowls. Jim Kelly, the 4 falls of Buffalo, did not get the chance to be and have those, right? But obviously Montana has Super Bowls. Elway has Super Bowls. Marino, again, gets there second year, never gets a chance to get back. All right? But the point of fact is, Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady could do and are doing their thing in large part, in my view, because of the rule changes and the fact that they cannot be, hunted as they once were, as quarterbacks once were. So the sidearm throws, the statistics, the touchdowns, and all the rest. And this kind of goes into a little bit of, Mahomes sliding and hunting calls and officials feeling they need to, throw the flag because Mahomes, you can't have, right? It's the exact different culture than what Montana and Elway and Marino. The exact, on the other end of the spectrum completely. We're talking North Pole to South Pole. North Pole, the old days, go get them. I'm not even going to get into some of the brutal, catastrophic situations involving quarterbacks. We're not going to get into that. If you know, but we're not going to get into that. Not tonight. Okay? But the fact is, you are hunting quarterbacks and hunting. Okay? You were bringing some wildlife home with you. Not a big hunter, but they put 2-3 on the top of the SUV and they out. We're bringing home our sustenance with us. We're bringing it home. Okay, old days you're hunting quarterbacks. Today, I feel like it's almost to the point where you have to two-hand touch the quarterback. You can't even tackle the quarterback. If you tackle him, you can't land on him. Yeah, you can't hit him from this place. You can't hit him from that place. Mahomes sliding all over the place, creating the contact, and then flailing and flopping. It's night and day. It's a night and day difference. All right. So more so than anything, I think what I'm saying. More so than anything, what I'm saying is put some respect on the awesome 80s quarterback. We even throw Steve Young in there, even though he didn't get his chance until the 90s, which is crazy. He sits behind, Steve Young, want to talk about MVPs, and he had to sit behind Joe Montana for, 2, 3, 4 years of his prime before he got a chance to see him do his thing and win, the Super Bowl. In that year where Deion left the Cowboys, went to the 49ers, and left the 49ers, went back to the Cowboys. He won 2, 3 Super Bowls in a row. Interesting to hear Coach Prime talk about his heyday. Okay, but fact of the matter is, right, on this point, Mahomes, we're certainly seeing greatness, even though on Eagles fly 100%, and if the Kansas City Chiefs win, the fair and square, which they didn't in the first game against the Eagles. I've said it and I'll say it again. They did not win fair and square in that first game again. They were gifted a Super Bowl by a preposterous call, which we cannot have happen on Sunday. Gifted. Can't have that happen under any circumstances. And I've said it before, and as we do these pods, because we have, you know what I mean, you got to make hay while the sun shines, and the sun is shining right now in terms of the world of sports. So SandCity is going to be in the mix some kind of way. As I said, I got to get to, and I got to. So we're going to have a work-life balance. SandCity Sports going to be in the mix some kind of way. We just got too much. And it grinds my gears that I wasn't able to get with you last night for the trade deadline. Okay? Grinds my gears. All right? But I'm working on that work-life balance. That's what I'm doing. I'm working on the work-life balance. But I'm thrilled to be with you this evening. Okay? A little bit later, we 11:52 on the Eastern. Okay? What's that? 8:52 on the Western. So the Western is pretty good. The Eastern, we with the Night Owls. But it's a Friday night, baby. It's Friday, and I'm ready to. My man Montel Jordan. My man Montel. Go ahead and check out the Never Too Much Luther Vandross documentary on CNN. And then Out of This World. Okay, Out of This World. I got a chance to see that at the Woods Hole Film Festival. Shout out to the Cape. Shout out to Woods Hole Film Festival. Okay. Some of my colleagues out where I work, you know what I mean? I work off Cape. I ain't gonna say where specifically, but I work off Cape. And you know, they were rocking Cape gear, which I always, you know what I mean, encourage and appreciate. Come on down. Okay, folks. My homeboy, greatness, go get it, appreciate, respect. All right, it was a different world. Okay, talk about different world, more throwbacks than where you come from. Okay, back to Sterling Sharp, folks. Right, and a little bit a purview there. Okay, the modern game, and then the physicality of the game back then. Talked about, right. He just lit the NFL up for 7 straight seasons. Right, then snap your fingers. And you got to also, it speaks to, we're not going to get too deep into this, but it speaks to the character and the, wisdom of somebody that would not fight back, would just, you are at the, you've been the man, you're continuing to be the man. You have these further goals. You want to be in consideration as the greatest wide receiver of all time. That's something that is a possibility based on just Sterling, and his height, played at a Power 5 school, dominated at the Power 5 school, got drafted high in the NFL, and then just went to balling from day one. Go ahead and check out. I just encourage you, coming from those rural beginnings, but getting, learning those tough lessons early on, staying within that family dynamic of support, encouragement, but also discipline and consistency. And then, Sterling he's just a rocket ship. His career was just all the way, the song, and that you know what I mean? Nothing can, Fat Joe, Remy, this guy, that guy, it was just Sterling's career was a rocket ship, whereas Shannon, he had peaks and valleys. Not drafted high, had to earn his spot, peaks and valleys, to become the Hall of Famer, right? Let's get that picture for you. To become the Hall of Famer that he is. All right. So let's discuss. Because we talked about Sterling. He got in. You know and I know who didn't get in. You know and I know who didn't get in, which we're going to discuss. Which is up for discussion, I should say. I guess it's up for discussion. Sometimes I just go with the we, even though it's just me. And I got to pay this, I got to pay that to see. Not a great shot, but, Sterling being there when Shannon goes into the hall. Okay? We get the point. Folks, Eli Manning did not get into the Hall of Fame. Okay. So Eli Manning did not get it. Before I, just, go with how I feel about Eli not getting in, I respect and stand, the way that the Football Hall of Fame did this is appropriate for me. In that, Sterling Sharp, not a first ballot Hall of Famer. And as he retired in 94, he's been on the ballot for some years. Retired in 94, inducted in 2025. 30 years of waiting, which to me speaks to why the NFL got this right. Yes, he doesn't have. Sterling Sharp does not have the longevity. Okay, and the preponderance of statistics, which is really the end all be all. Like, what did you do? What did you do? And there's a difference between the Hall of Fame and a Lifetime Achievement Award. As I lean back on you, there's a difference between the Hall of Fame and a Lifetime Achievement Award. Right? A lot of times I feel those things are confused. And so was a good person and they contributed and they did, this and that, and they were on these. I agree 100,000%. But if we're talking in the NFL, did so and so who did a lot of great things and was a wonderful person, do they have Randy Moss numbers? Do they have Jerry Rice numbers? Do they have those? Are the yes, that's the company you're keeping if you're going into the Hall of Fame. So as good a person as folks are, or that we strive to be, when you're in that rarefied air, when you're talking about the Hall of Fame and being inducted, it's less about your contributions over a long career and time, and more about just a pure standard of greatness that is clearly evidenced and there available to everybody. We talked about the Lou Merloni test. Is Rob Gronkowski a Hall of Famer? Yes. You think about Gronk, one of the greatest tight ends of all time. Yes, he's a Hall of Famer, period. And then you start going down the line in terms of Patriots skill players and Julian Edelman and Wes Welker and guys that were great fits on the Patriots team and helped the Patriots to win the Super Bowls and, did their job and all the rest of that stuff. Okay, so, they're in consideration for the Patriots Hall of Fame. But I don't know about the Hall of, the actual Hall of Fame. Okay, those are tough conversations that need to be had, that are being had. And I agree. I'm in agreement with how the NFL is going about it. My New York Knicks and the NBA Hall of Fame goes about it in a way that I'm less agreeable with. And there's more guys and players and people, because it's the Basketball Hall of Fame, it's not the NBA Hall of Fame. I get all of that. But a Hall of Fame is a Hall of Fame. It's not a Hall of Good, not a Hall of Friends. It's a Hall of Fame. And so, yes, Eli not getting in on the first ballot, I don't have any problem with that. I don't feel that Eli Manning is a first ballot Hall of Famer. I feel Brett Favre is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Obviously, Tom Brady's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Okay, but Eli Manning is not a first ballot Hall of Famer. He may eventually get into the Hall of Fame. 2 Super Bowls, the stats, all that stuff. I can hear all of that. I get you on all of that. Just check. We got a new day on the horizon. Check it out. But Eli Manning is not Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Eli Manning is, I'm not going to go too crazy on this in terms of my analysis. I'm not, you know what I mean? Ain't going crazy. But Eli Manning's career is not Peyton's, clearly. And everybody knows it. So why does he deserve to be a first ballot Hall of Famer? Again, a first ballot Hall of Famer is an all-time great. Not just on the all-time team, an all-time great. The greatest of the greats. That's what a first ballot Hall of Famer is. The greatest of the greats. Not just the new flavor of the month. Not just, he deserves it because good guy. And, never mind, he had all of the interceptions and all. He's a nice guy and he has a good Q rating. No, we're talking about the house of, the home of Babe Ruth. And Hank Aaron. And Ty, no, I ain't gonna, Ty can wait. Ty Cobb can wait. And Ted Williams. Check out the Ken Burns, not, his baseball documentary if you want to be educated, as I was. And learning and understanding who a Ty Cobb was, and the story of Babe Ruth and what Hank Aaron had to endure, to break the home run record, and how the heck to this day they let those guys onto the field when the security was supposed to be, presidential levels. It boggles my mind. But it was a good pictures. It was a good shot. Folks running and cheering Hank Aaron at a time when he received hate mail upon hate mail for breaking paper, for being excellent in the 1970s. So, again, giving us, well, hopefully providing some context. I appreciate the people that's out there rocking with me. Can see somebody jumped on to the check-in. We appreciate you as we come into a new day. Midnight, SandCity Sports. Your boy, the Cape Cod Kid, artist formerly known as Andre King. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Good, bad, and different. Keep it positive, but hey, express yourself. You don't like this, you don't like that, you don't like the third. I want to hear about it. Okay, we got so much. We haven't even discussed the NBA trade deadline. Frankly, I don't know if we're going to get to that tonight. As much as I'm thrilled to be with you, it's been a long day. I shouldn't have left you without a dope beat to step two. It's been a beautiful day. It's been a great day. Okay, but your boy can't, tired is tired. I had a very fortunate day. Good day at school. Good day refereeing. OT thriller, you know what I mean? Coming back. But not as young as I used to be. Young as I feel, but not as young as I used to be. So we may have to just focus in on the NFL. Maybe touch on the NBA a little bit. Because the trade deadline is, we got to touch on the NBA. Because what's going on in Dallas right now is wild. And because we SandCity Sports, people talk about late, early, when the show gets on, whatever. But SandCity Sports was in the mix. Was right in the mix for the Luka deal. Didn't even had to check on my fantasy. By the way, my fantasy team, I didn't set my roster. Don't tell nobody. Hold on, I got it. My rosters. I said it, but then I don't know if I double checked it. And that's the worst thing. Any fantasy sports people out there know when you check and you don't set your roster, that is a fury. Especially if you're in a tight matchup, which I am with the commissioner, who's been slanderous on my good name. So I can't lose to the. See, burns me up. Had Caruso on the bench. I missed out on 12.6 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, and a block. Burns me up when that happens. Now, this is not as bad, because he was technically injured. That he come off the injury reserve. But I could have put, Durant's injured, so he could have filled that spot. What did Caruso? OKC's tough, folks. Not yawning. OKC is tough. Tough. And not even seeing their full complement, right? Kassan Wallace, who has just balled, followed him through EYBL, did the one apprenticeship year at Kentucky. Another one of John Calipari's guys that comes into the NBA ready. Whatever you want to say about Coach Cal, whatever you want to say about this NIL revolution, his players to a man. We're talking about Gilgeous Alexander. We're talking about the Tyler Heroes. We're talking about the Jamal Murrays. We're talking about the Bam Adebayos. We're talking about the, the Anthony Davises. You play for Cal, man, and whatever strategy he's lacking at the college level, those folks coming to the NBA like this ain't nothing. Just go straight to work. So shout out to Coach Cal. I know I had the game, Arkansas game last week. That was okay. We still on the NFL. We're still on the Hall of Fame. I got to get all the Hall of Famers up on the screen. It's going to be a second. But Eli, Eli's got to be he's got to be on the Shannon, the Sterling Sharp trajectory. And we can keep going to the 2 Super Bowls and whether it wins in a quarterback stat or not and how he kept cool in those games. I credit you. Fine. But his career before those Super Bowls, to get to those Super Bowls, Eli was good, but he was not great. Not great. Not a stretch like we see with Sterling. Like a stretch of just dominance. He wasn't that. So I have no problem with Eli Manning not being a first ballot Hall of Famer. I'm in the camp that he should, you're going to have to wait a couple ballots. You will eventually get into the Hall of Fame, but no, you ain't no first ballot Hall of Famer. No. Okay, and Sterling, the greatness, but not the long. He's been waiting for 3 decades. That's what's awesome about this. That's what's super cool, right? That you had the dream. Obviously, your career is cut short. You say, it'd be good if so and so was in the Hall of Fame to give them the, but that's again lifetime achievement stuff. That's not Hall of Fame stuff. But Sterling waits and waits and waits and waits, and then he gets the call when he did. Now who wants to wait? We can't wait for coffee at the, but we're gonna wait now to get. No, people can't wait. It is what it is. I appreciate the folks that's rocking with me out there. We see you. You know what I mean? Respect. Like, comment, subscribe. Jump on the pod. Keep it positive. All that good stuff. Coming at you late night of what has been a long day. I'm going to stay NFL. I'm just checking my fantasy team. Like I said, I'm angry. I'm just trying to see when Caruso became healthy because I didn't, if it was, when did he become healthy? Because then it's not, I don't feel as bad, if I have a player that's injured, but then the injury report came out like super late, and I just, I had the roster set, but then I couldn't see the injury report because it was super late, or later, then I don't feel as bad in those instances. I don't feel as bad. So, folks, we're going to go about 10 minutes more on this check-in of SandCity Sports. Thrilled, okay, to be on and rocking with you. Full day, busy day. Talking about the NFL Hall of Fame. Two most notable inductees and snubs, if you want to call it that. Certainly, being Sterling Sharp and Eli Manning. Right. Different careers. Eli, the longevity, a lot of touchdowns, a lot of interceptions. Sterling, just a savant. Brilliance at the wide receiver position that just was awesome, and then it was gone in terms of Sterling. And as we wrap that side of it up, because we are going to talk about the trade deadline in the NBA, and that's going to jump into it a little bit because there's so much still to get to. We're going to jump into it on the surface of it. Then we're going to jump into the fallout, and that's going to be that's going to be this episode of SandCity Sports. Holla at your boy. I got to get my, late night to a certain extent. Late for some, early for others. It is what it is. But I'm feeling, even though I'm strong, my next shirt is giving me strength. I'm feeling strength right now. I'm also feeling a little bit of fatigue. So we're gonna have to table some of the topics. The NIL, which I'm fascinated by and want to really, unpack from the standpoint of Duke basketball and how they have navigated the changing tides and twists and turns very successfully. We expect that from Duke, but they still have to make it happen, and they have. So we're going to hold off on that for another day. In conclusion, with NFL moves and circumstances in the Hall of Fame specifically, keep doing what you're doing, NFL. You're on the right track. You're inching closer to baseball and not dropping down to where basketball is. And everybody, with a story and that had some hardship, is in the Hall of Fame. I don't agree with that. I believe that the NBA and other, that you should help those that are, falling on tough times, so on and forth. But that doesn't mean that doesn't mean they deserve to get into the Hall of Fame. And the Basketball Hall of Fame doesn't recognize that. Yes, it's the Basketball Hall of Fame. It's not the NBA Hall of Fame, but it's just not recognized. Too many participation trophies up in there. Far too many. Okay, folks. Briefly, because we got to jump on out of here. We might not even make it to an hour, but we're gonna have a good finish, and we're gonna move on to the next. But briefly, Spurs, awesome. Warriors, what are you doing? What are you doing? Yawning. God, what are you doing, Warriors? Trade Wiggins, who was a 3, who was an all-star for you, for Jimmy Butler, who's a 2, and you already have Pozorski, so I can't pronounce his name. I'm sorry. I don't understand what the Warriors are doing. Pelicans trade Ingram, expiring contract. Okay. Toronto's going nowhere. Ingram might, leave Toronto and go somewhere else, another contender. Who knows? But folks, the situation with Luka, we're going to finish there. And then we're going to thank you for, small but mighty. Small but mighty on the SandCity Sports check-in. I appreciate you. We're going to keep this going right now. It's been good. I want to do more, but, my mind's telling me no, and my body's telling me no too. So, when both are a no, that's when it's time. I gotta, fortunately I got some pizza pie. I got pizza pie. We're gonna get that, you know what I mean? The folks at work was generous enough to give me a pizza pie. So it's cold right now because it's been sitting in the car. And but we're gonna heat that bad boy up and have some, get the gobble, get the muncherooty. No, it's a snackarooty. They call it, I munch, but it's a snackarooty. And then we're gonna call it a day and get back to it tomorrow. Folks, NBA trade deadline situations. And SandCity was in the mix when it happened. Fortunate to do so. We're going to continue to be in the mix. We'll continue to just pursue and improve, hopefully, the passion project. But, folks, situation in Dallas right now is requiring security. They need security in Dallas, which is no laughing matter. In terms of the vitriol and fury associated with this Luka Doncic trade. Folks are literally up in arms. Now, that's too far. It's just sports. We're fanatics. I understand that, but it's not acceptable. But I said, how many times did I say that one? As the dust is settling, more and more people beyond the shock just feel that this deal is outlandish. What you got in return, what you gave away, and where you were as an organization, 1 year removed from an NBA Finals. And people are, and that's, it's just wild and the hype, just wrong. Now it could turn out that the, Harris, the Nico, he might have the secret sauce of information that nobody else has. And if he does, I'll tip my hat to him. But it's looking, a lot of people, myself included, are just like, what the heck did you do? What did you do? Just gifting, and the Lakers are in your conference. You just gave the Lakers life. You gave them skill, star power, dominance. It's Dallas, what are you doing? So, I'm not the only one that had that inclination, and folks need to keep it above the belt and not allow, the conversation and the rhetoric to go where it doesn't need to go. But giving up Luka legend, just, and Anthony Davis is a good player. You didn't give him, but you could have got a lot. Anthony Davis and some more, and you chose not to for whatever reason. So it is what it is. Folks, that is going to conclude this episode of SandCity Sports. Thrilled to get on here for the check-in. A lot to get to more so. We stay with the NFL. We stay with the Hall of Fame. NFL, you got it right. Sterling is deserving. He waited. Okay, not one of these, always, knocking and, need to talk to you about 18 things and, just over, right? See that in the world of youth sports. So, no. Sterling was the real deal. Life happened. He accepted it. He moved on. And now he's getting his just due, which is long overdue. And I can respect it. Eli, you're not a first ballot Hall of Famer. Period. End of story. You're going to have to wait. Only rightfully so. All right. And then, there's a good chance that you'll probably get in, with the wait. Okay. And so thank you, folks. We're going to, we only got, 30. So we're going to go over an hour. That's just, we're going to go over an hour. All right. We're going to go out with the slice of life stuff. You know what I mean? But thank you so much. Host the Cape Cod Kid, artist formerly known as Andre King. You know what time it is. We're going to see you again the next time. We're going to get to that hour first. Then we're going to come up off this live stream. Like, comment, subscribe. Please let me know. anyway, or you don't have to, you just keep it pushing, if this, what is this guy doing, it's ridiculous. That's all good and well too, I take that feedback, take the good with the bad, as a wise man once told me. We take the good with the bad. Okay, so appreciate everybody. We're going to add on, so we got a lot that was not, and that's just going to add on to the Super Bowl, when we come back for that. But in the meantime, in between time, stay safe, folks. Okay, enjoy yourself, and we see you the next time. Peace.